With housing costs so astronomically high, many older adults are turning to having roommates in order to cut costs. It's called boommates. The ridiculous cost of housing and overall living expenses, that's what we're talking about today. And some ways that you could possibly cut costs in your own life. I'd say this news is shocking, but it's really not. An increasing number of adults aged 65 and older are opting to share housing arrangements and save money. And why wouldn't they? Because many have fallen behind on their retirement savings. They have increased expenses and even concerns about loneliness. And of course, having a roommate could help with all of these things. According to Harvard University's Joint Center for Housing Studies, nearly 1 million people aged 65 and over now live with unrelated roommates. And I'm not surprised by this. With the amount of inflation that has been forced down our throat over the past 4 years, many people are having to make adjustments in their life just to survive. And this is affecting older adults more than ever. Sites like Spare Room have seen a significant rise in older users, with 1 in 4 roommates in the United States aged 45 and above, a figure that's more than double in the past decade. In 2021, more than 11 million were considered cost-burdened, meaning they spent more than 30% of their household income on housing. Nationwide, rents have risen nearly 30% from pre-pandemic levels. Rising taxes, insurance, utilities, mortgage costs have left many homeowners looking for ways to pay their bills. How's those Bidenomics working for you now? Clearly not so well. And even investment advisors are noticing this trend. Jamie Batmer is a chief investment officer at a firm called Creative Planning. And he's noted that many of his clients have complained about the rise of housing costs. We've got a big group of people entering their prime years of retirement, and more people are turning to getting roommates in order to make ends meet and their long-term financial dollars last. You know, this topic really rings home with me. I am getting ready to retire, hopefully in the next 2 years, and I think about this a lot. The money that I've saved, I worry that it's not going to last, especially when we look at the cost of things like insurance. Housing insurance is so very high. The cost of groceries, very high. The cost of medical care. I mean, I pay a ridiculous amount of money for my health insurance as a self-employed individual, and then there's still costs on top of that. I mean, I could knock out $1,000 or $1,500 in a month alone just to pay for the premium and a couple visits to the doctor. It's absolutely insane. So you wonder, how can you afford these things when you're not bringing in income? I mean, has this crossed your mind? Have you thought about it? Personally, what's happened to our economy over the past 4 years downright makes me mad. I mean, when you have a 35% to 45% increase in your grocery bill, and in some cases 50% depending on what you're purchasing, I mean, it's just wrong. And telling grocery stores how much they can charge is not going to solve the problem. The problem is government spending, all on these entitlement programs. The government needs to stop spending money. They need to stop spending your money and my money. I don't know. Should my tax dollars be spent on my Medicare, or should it be spent on housing and feeding 10 million illegal aliens? I don't know. But I digress. It's hard for me not to talk about how irresponsible our government is, because it's costing you and me money. Besides asking someone to live with you that's not related to you, that you don't know, that's probably a security risk. Based upon what I'm seeing today, let's talk about maybe some ways we can cut corners in our spending. Like paying for things in advance. I like to take a vacation if I can afford to take one. So buying cruise tickets, airline tickets, paying for lodging well in advance. If you can start shopping now for something you're going to do 10 months, 11 months, a year from now. I've purchased cruises a year in advance and saved a ton of money. Do your homework. Try to pay for things in advance if you can. 2, on anything that you would have the opportunity to pay monthly on, pass on that. If you can, pay annually. If you have a subscription that gives you a discount for paying all at once, pay all at once. That's what I do. Sometimes it can save you 30% on the cost of that subscription by paying all 12 months at once. Like your car insurance, which is also ridiculously high. You can also increase your deductible on your car insurance if you're a really good driver. Take that deductible up to $1,000 or $2,000. It will reduce your car insurance premium. And if you're 65 or 70, are you really some raging road warrior speeding out of control? Probably not. Increase that deductible. Now I know I'm going to be Debbie Downer bringing this one up, but eat out less. I so enjoy eating out because I don't have to cook the food or clean up afterwards. We try to keep it to 1 time a week. Now, if it wasn't working, I could save some additional money. Early bird specials. I mean, there was a time, like about a month ago, where we ended up at a restaurant, belly up to the bar, and it was before 6. Doesn't happen often. And we're like looking at the prices, and they were so cheap. I mean, they were half-price appetizers, half-price drinks. What they call that? The early bird dinner special. They were like $10 off of we'll call it a $25 steak dinner. It was down to $15 if you ordered it before 6 p.m. Now I understand why all the old people are there that early, because it does save you money. But eating out less will also save you money. Coupons. I get this book. Always has food coupons in it. $10 off a dinner for 2. I'm not too proud to use the $10 off coupon. Why not? That means I can buy 1 extra margarita. But if you're retired, you probably already know this. And when you go out, keep those establishments close by. Don't drive too far, because it costs gas money. So try to keep your restaurants that you go to within a short distance to your house, which will also save you on your insurance premiums because they track how much you drive. Use technology. There's apps. There's gas apps to find out where you can buy the cheapest gas. Utilizing technology will help you find where to buy the cheapest gas and a lot of other items that you may be shopping for. And speaking of shopping, buy in bulk. I mean, obviously, non-perishable food, canned goods that you use. I mean, I buy a case of tomato sauce. I make chili. I make spaghetti. I use tomato sauce a lot, so I buy it in bulk. Same with toilet paper, paper towels, things that aren't going to go bad, that have a long shelf life, buy in bulk. Not going to go bad, and yes, it will save you money. Cut the cable. I did a few months ago with quite a bit of resistance from my other half, because that saying you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, you actually can if you push hard enough. We bought a Roku. And you get pretty much everything you get on basic cable TV included. You spend $40 on the device and poof, no more cable bill. That saves me $1,200 a year. Not too bad. Have you considered getting a boom mate? I don't think I personally, unless I was desperate, would invite someone to live in my home. Now, families, you start to having that multi-generational living situation. I would do that. I could do it with my daughter. If the grandkids were old enough. Right now they're young and exhausting. So there's a reason I live 4 hours away. And Aaron, if you're watching, I love you. And I love the kids too. But you know, one of my favorite pastimes on this channel is reading your comments. So tell me, if you're retired, have you noticed your paychecks or your retirement income being squeezed? And would you consider bringing in a roommate? Inquiring minds would like to know. And have you been watching the stock market? I mean, when you're retired, you are living off of investment income for the most part. And even if you have a pension or 401k, that money is invested. And there's a lot of volatility going around. I mean, stocks plummeted the first week of September. I'm looking at the market volatility as a buying opportunity because I see something big coming, and I'm taking a few cues from people like Warren Buffett. And if you haven't seen the video I did on what he's doing, you should watch it. I'll put it at the end. It's quite eye-opening. Now, if you enjoyed this video or you learned a little something, or you just like hanging out with me, make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. And come back and see me again, because I would love to see your beautiful face next week. Take care.